Hey, it's Charlie. This week we're going to talk about romantic relationships. Um, One thing I've noticed with platonic relationships, unlike romantic relationships, you might not talk a whole lot. You might not see someone again for like 7 or 10 years or maybe even 20 years, and then all of a sudden you talk to them again as if that distance, that whole span of never seeing them, as if that never happened. For example, a couple days ago, I actually caught up with an old friend I haven't seen in 7 years, since I was in grade 7, since we were in grade 7. Um, yeah, literally, we just like picked up the conversation, talked about a few events in our lives, stuff like that, and then, yeah, we were just on our way. Don't know if I'll actually see them again, but, oh well, things happen, right? But I guess that's one thing that I've noticed with just going through these different chapters in life, like moving, graduating, moving on with your life, different changes in your life. For example, I know I've just lost touch with friends ever since I came out as genderqueer. Um, Kind of sucks, but I mean, sometimes like you think you just figure out who your friends really are because if they just don't want to talk to you anymore because you know they figure something out about you, then I guess they really weren't your friends. Even they thought that they were your friend until they realized no, they see something undesirable in you, unfortunately. And I guess being trans is undesirable. I don't know. But yeah, again, I came from a small town, moved back to Edmonton because, shit was just going down there and I was just hard time getting a job and stuff like that. So I just decided to move up here, found a stable job, which is nice. Um, yeah, I guess that's a little bit about my life and friendships. Um, One thing is, I guess since I was moving a lot, like from grade 2 to grade 3, I did a lot of moving around Canada. And then I stayed around in Edmonton for a while. And then pretty much I stayed there for a few years and then I just headed down south and yeah, I came back up here in 7 years once things just got too out of hand for me in that small town. Although I still miss it for some reason. um, but yeah, since I didn't really make many friends up until grade 3, um, I didn't have that many friends. I didn't have that many social skills. I didn't really talk to a whole lot of people because of a lot of traumatic experiences I'm not gonna get into yet. Um, yeah, I pretty much saw everyone as someone who is unpredictable and, possibly violent. And yeah, had a hard time trusting people and stuff like that, although I still managed to make a few friends. Mm, yeah, one thing, when I was 12 or 13, a doctor decided to make the diagnosis of Asperger's simply because of those things. I didn't have many social skills. I was at this point of not talking to people and I was very apathetic, and they decided, like, and like I wasn't doing too well in school, so they decided to make that diagnosis, although personally for the longest time I believed it was PTSD. It was affecting my grades and stuff like that because that's all I could even think about. Someone even looked at me the wrong way, talked to me the wrong way, um, things like that. Um, Although that's sort of subsided now. I can function normally now. Um, and now I'm still personally just like in my head still in a debate like whether that I should actually hold that diagnosis as true. Like, I've never even bothered telling an employer because I just figured it doesn't affect me. Even if I did have Asperger's, I mean, if what I lacked was social skills, I made up for that. I already have these social skills now. Um, I'm not as apathetic as I was before, although, you know, even people with on the autism spectrum, they aren't always apathetic, and some of them can be extremely bright. Some of them can have friendships, romantic relationships. They can be married. They can have kids, things like that. So I mean, who knows? It could still be me, but whatever. Um, yeah. Take for example someone like Bill Gates. He has it. But anyways, beyond the point. That might have been the reasoning why I didn't make that many friends. I wasn't that sociable until about senior high, where I started to understand people a bit more and started talking, started making more friends, things like that. Um, yeah. Another thing is just like, I don't know if I already said this, but like about going through these different chapters in life, you move on, or let's say something bigger, like you decide to finally come out of the closet as queer or transgender or non-binary or something like that. You find that some people just don't want to talk to you anymore. Apparently you're just not that desirable, as some people put it. I don't see what's undesirable about it. I mean, we're all bloody different, and I don't see the whole big deal about judging someone for who they love or who they want to express themselves as. But that's how society works now. It kind of sucks. But yeah, now that I moved to Edmonton, my fiance and I, we started making more friends, either at work or at church, because we both go to church. Obviously, we finally found a more affirming church, and it's not just LGBT friendly, it's friendly to all those from different ethnic backgrounds, economic status, things like that. So yeah, we decided to go there, because I mean, if they don't make a regard towards those things, then obviously they're respectable. And yeah, already made a few friends there just one Sunday, so yeah. And yeah, I personally think like having at least a couple good friends in your life is always a good thing. Like, even a significant other or a spouse, or like even they can be a good friend of yours. So yeah, good to have a good friend. Because I mean, it can get lonely. Sometimes you need that moral support, or sometimes you're just doing something you really shouldn't be doing. This is probably why my voice is so damn deep. It's because I was a pack-a-day smoker for a year, and it's only been 28 days since I had my last smoke, so I mean, my lungs and my vocal cords and all that stuff still have a lot to recover for the next 2 years, you know? But yeah, if I hadn't had friends to just help me out on that either, and just be like, hey, do something like even get one of those e-cigarettes, which I actually did, and that worked. Yeah, if I didn't have friends to like push me to do that, and I mean, sometimes peer pressure is good, and in the case of them saying, hey, you need to quit smoking, I think that's good peer pressure, and you know what? I gave into it, and I decided to quit, and yeah, sometimes what I found is like sometimes I will give in to peer pressure if it's something good. But I never should have given in to the peer pressure of starting smoking, so yeah. I was kind of gullible there. But yeah. Then again, sometimes you just gotta figure out who your friends are. I don't talk to the guy who gave me my first cigarette, you know? That's just one other life lesson we all gotta learn. It's like, you just gotta figure out who your friends are, who you should listen to, because I mean, you can still be friends with someone and it's like, they just say something, it's like, no, I'm not gonna do that, or dude, what are you doing, you know? Yeah, so that's just one thing I've always had to keep in mind, because sometimes I can't tell the difference, I don't know why. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys next week. I think it's about family relationships and stuff like that, so yeah, I'll see you next week for that if I have the time. Hope I do. See ya.